Hi, Will. Let's see. Okay, you're 111 megabytes. That is way too large for a downloadable PDF. So this is something that's going to go on your website, and I can guarantee you a potential job is not going to sit and wait to download your portfolio. As you can see, the other ones that I've downloaded today, this one was 9, this one is 7, this one's 11, this one's 4. They should all be of that size range. Okay, I'm going to put this on pause while I wait. Okay, looking at your work, let's see. So we have some stack type there, but this is still interesting. I would go through and look at it. D and C. Okay, I'm assuming that this is some sort of law firm. All right, is that bevel embossed drop shadow on the typography? Yeah, it is. Okay, so, although I like your direction here, bevel emboss drop shadow is considered a really old-fashioned style in design these days, and the reason is because it was very popular when Photoshop first came out, and people did it to death. So now the style is much more clean. If you do want to add a drop shadow, you never use black, and you make sure it's real tight. If you feel inclined to do creative work with typography, there's a lot of, let me show you, there's a lot of tutorials out there on the internet. Just type in typography effect tutorial. And these are a wonderful way to spruce up your portfolio. Some of them take hours and hours, and some of them don't take any time at all. Like the fire ones are real quick. But it's just, this is the kind of effort that people want to see if you're going to add effects to typography, not the same old bevel embossed drop shadow. Okay, going back to your work. Cute. Smuckers looks adorable. This is fun. It does look professional. All right, is this still Smuckers? I'm wondering because it's kind of the same. If I were you, I would not put these side by side. You want to show variety in your portfolio. You want to show that you do more than children's work. Okay, and I have to tell you that line length is never this long in professional publications. And that's, you don't just stretch a sentence all the way across. If you do have a lot of content, you add 2 columns of type. It might be a little different in print, but even still, they don't stretch it out that long. Okay, I'm really not sure what this is because it's black on black. It's all a little bit confused together. All right, so you really need to use a different color background if you want to show the plan for your packaging. This is a pretty good photo, although it's a little dark on this side. I would take this into Photoshop and increase the brightness and contrast. And then, okay, magazine design. That's fine. I like the type treatment. Mini Cooper ad, okay. All right, so what did you do on this? You didn't take the photo. You added that type and you added a block to the left, which is fine, but it really doesn't show any fantastic skill. Instead of using this font, what is that, Helvetica? Consider going into dafont.com and using Challenge, maybe something that looks a little more dynamic, and then accepted could be all caps, or it could even look like a stamp. What can you add to it? Again, you've got the glow here. Instead, consider using a white background so your work really pops. I think this looks good. It shows a very thoughtful typography selection, and the rest of it works really well together. Again, that's appropriate. You can't really see the images too good, but then you kind of blow it over here by using this font because it is a font that comes on everybody's computer, number one. Number two, it's kind of hard to read with such a busy background. And number three, it looks like you took beginning and made it smaller because you couldn't fit it on the page. So as a graphic designer, that's your challenge. To make work look really, really well thought out and cohesive. Cohesive. That's a good drawing. I like that you made it a grid. I like this font a lot, but it's really impossible to read in paragraph and center justified. So consider using a sentence case font for the type underneath that you're supposed to read. Okay, I can't really tell what I'm looking at. It looks like illustrations with sort of a Photoshop texture added. But I mean, it's fine. It's attention grabbing, although the fingers look a little bit odd. But it is a rhino, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I like this a lot. It's very 80s. I like the colors, and the concept is very interesting. Oh yeah, this is from your website. And again, you've got sort of the 90s vibe there, 80s, 90s. I like it. All right, so those are all my thoughts. I know at this point you're probably under a time crunch, so perhaps it's something you work on over time. But if anything, I don't recommend using a dark background because you've got so many dark pieces. You want them to pop off the page. Let me know if you have any questions.